Hello, and welcome back to yet another Art Mom art tutorial. Today's tutorial is on hands, and I'm excited because I've been waiting for somebody to ask me to draw hands for a long time, because I'm that one freak of an artist who actually enjoys drawing hands. So, let's get into it. The first thing that we're going to want to do is look at references, as per usual, but in this one we're going to break the reference down into shapes. And those shapes are going to help us freehand later. So this is actually my hand that I took this hand reveal. Wow. But to start, we're going to start at the palm because the palm is the best place. It's a good base because you're not going to have fingers if you don't have a palm. So the shape of the palm is a trapezoid, and the trapezoid gets a little bit bigger where the fingers are and a little bit smaller where the wrist is. And I always curve these lines because it gives it a more natural feel. You don't technically have to, but I would recommend it because, again, it'll make your hand feel more natural. Coming off of this trapezoid is a triangle, and that triangle is going to be the base for your thumb. It'll help us out later, and so that triangle can be very important. That's where your thumb is, and you're gonna put that wherever your thumb is coming from. So that's the base of your thumb. Then we get into fingers, and I have decided to not go the traditional route with this, which is draw circles. And then connect the circles, because then you've got circles in the middle of your fingers that you need to erase, and it gets hard and it's complicated, and it's simpler to think of your hands like bamboo sticks, which sounds really weird, but trust me, because your fingers are basically 3 tubes stacked on top of each other like bamboo. So the first tube is from your first knuckle to your second knuckle, and then second one to the third one, and then to your fingertips. So when you're going for this, you just draw a tube. Or you could see this as a rectangle, but I round it because in 3D space your fingers are rounded. So the first tube goes here, second tube goes on top, and then your third tube is your fingertip, and that one is very round on top. So that one's just basically a big U shape. And you can do this for all your fingers. So tube number 1 goes from your knuckle, like your punching knuckle, a little bit of martial arts for you, punching knuckle to your second knuckle, and then you go up to your third knuckle, and then round it out for the fingertips. That's your third tube. And you just do this for every finger. And there's a couple things that you might notice while doing this, and that is, your first tube is always, the longest. So this first one is going to be the longest tube on your hand, and they get smaller as they go up. So biggest, middle, smallest. And that will help you to draw your fingers as well. Another thing I want to mention is the gap between your fingers is not a V shape, and it's not a complete U. It is Whoa. It is a soft V shape. So it's not quite sharp, but it's not quite all the way rounded either. So it's a very soft V there in the middle. You'd be surprised how much impact the shape between your fingers has on how your hand looks. But yeah, it's a soft V shape like that. Moving over back to the thumb, you also have 3 tubes on your thumb. Even though it looks like your thumb only has 2 knuckles, one here and one here, your third knuckle is actually way down here, and that's what allows you to fold your thumb over like your hand. But since we have this triangle here, we've already gone over the first knuckle. This is basically your first tube, this triangle is. Coming off of the triangle, and I have something called hitchhiker's thumb, so you can see my thumb is not straight. Just ignore that for now. But, Whoa. But your second tube is going to come up to your second knuckle and connect to that triangle, and then your third tube is your fingertip. Now notice how when I trace this line is straight and this one is curved. That is because of your fingertips. We will get back to that later. That is important. Make mental note, and that's not just the thumb. Alright, now that we've kind of analyzed and broken down the hand into shapes, we can go down to the bottom here and draw them freehand. Wow, great pun. Freehand the hand. So yeah, we're gonna do the same pose that I have here, just for simplicity's sake, and I will explain a couple of other things, too. So we're gonna start with that palm shape. Remember that it is wider at the top where the fingers are and smaller where the wrist is. I'm actually going to draw the wrist real fast, just so that way I don't forget it. So here's your wrist, there's your palm. Then you've got the thumb that comes off as a triangle. That is your first tube for the thumb. There's that. And then you go into fingers. Now, if you would like, you can draw circles for each finger, each knuckle. You can do this to size out your fingers, but I always draw them the wrong sizes, and then my fingers end up looking weird. I actually have a really bad habit of not sketching out my hands before I do them. I just go for it because I've had years of practice of drawing them. Don't be like me. Please sketch your hands. Only do what I do and just freehand it if you also have 3+ pages of just hand practice in your sketchbook. Please sketch your hands. But anyway, we're gonna get back into the fingers. So coming from here, you've got tube number 1, tube number 2, oops, that's curved, tube number 2, and then your fingertip. And bam! If you erase the lines in the middle, that's a pretty good finger right there. And then from here, there's that soft V. You got your middle finger. Remember that your middle finger is the longest finger. Your index and your ring finger are about the same size. Your middle finger is the longest and your pinky is the shortest. So tube number 1, tube number 2, and tube number 3. And then you can just keep going. I erased this one, but you just kind of keep going for it. So, oops, that's too long, I think. Tube number 1 for ring finger. Tube number 2, oops, I keep going too long. Tube number 2, and then tube number 3. Now, I said a second ago that your ring finger and your index finger are about the same size. I'm not very good at making them the same size, but just know that they are. And then your pinky is the shortest, so you'll want the shortest tubes here. 1, 2, and smooth that out while you do it, and 3. And there you go, there's your fingers. If you erase what's in the middle, then you've got 4 pretty good looking fingers. They look proper. And then with your thumb, I really don't know how to explain the thumb very well, I'm gonna be honest, but basically, my best advice for that is just take a picture of your hand like I did here and trace the thumb about a bajillion times until you get that shape down, because it is so difficult and strange to explain. So I guess you have 1, 2, 3, but again, like, this is not the same tube shape as this here, and this is the fingertip. It's okay, I need to get back to that. This fingertip bit is rounded here. But anyway, this is your hand. If you erase the lines in the middle, there you go. Simple as that. It's not quite as hard as it seems. There you go. Now, take a moment and imagine that this is actually palm side up. It's not like palm side down like my hand is here. It's actually palm side up. Whenever I draw that, it's gonna look about the same, but I do typically add a line that kind of like cuts off the palm from the fingers, but don't connect it all the way on your index and pinky finger. This is basically just the palm line. It's only visible when you're palm side up. So if this is the inside of your hand, then this line will be visible. But it will not it generally will not be if this is palm side down. But yeah. So back to this straight bump type thing that I was talking about earlier. When you're drawing hands, if you flip your hand to the side, you can see that from the side, a finger will be straight on the back side, generally, and more bumpy on the inside. This is because of the finger pads that you have on your fingers. When I draw these, I will typically simplify it. So one straight line and then one curve. This is the pad of your finger. So this would be your third, this would be your third pink tube here. That's the curved one, and then I straighten it down. This is what a finger will look like from the side. From like 3/4 view, so if this is the back, it's pretty much the same. So if this was the center of your finger here, it's pretty much the same. Your fingers only don't have this like bump here when they're being viewed from like straight on like this. This is the only, like, from the straight on from the front or the back, that's the only time when your fingers won't have a straight side and a bumped side. You can make this very subtle, or you can go nuts with it, and have your fingers look like that. Just know that one side is more straight than the other, and it's the back side. Wherever your nail is, that's the straight side of your finger. And that will help you when you're drawing from, like, hands in different poses. And that is what I'm going to talk about next. So hands in different poses, basically what you do is you bend the fingers at where the tubes end. So, whoa, what did I just do? Holy crap. So when you're doing a different pose, so say we're doing something at a slight angle because it's easier. So here's your palm. That's a very square palm, but whatever. And you're bending your fingers. So here's your thumb side. And here, again, I don't really know how to... I lost my train of thought because my mom came in and I had to pause the video. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so I don't know how to explain the thumb shape, but when you're bending your fingers, they bend wherever the knuckles are, duh. So say you've got tube 1 and then tube 2 will come off of it as at an angle, and then tube 3, if there's that flat side, will come off of it like that. This is really bad because, as I said before, I don't actually sketch out my fingers most of the time. If I was gonna draw this, it would look more like this instead of actually drawing out the tubes. That was really bad. More like that, probably. But yeah, when you go to bend the fingers, bend them where things connect. So there, and there, where your knuckles are. Let's see. Basically, the best tip I can give you for drawing hands in different poses is just take a picture of yourself doing that, study it, and then draw it. And you know what? There's actually no shame in tracing your own hands. A lot of things will say, don't trace anything, but it's okay if it's your own self. Like, if you took the reference picture, then you can trace it all you want. Here are some hands that I've drawn. I so totally traced these. I took a picture of myself doing this with my hands. I traced it, and I simplified it, and I slapped it on there. But yeah, like, it is okay to trace your own hands, or at least just study your own hands. It is okay. Here you can actually see the straight line and then curved line that I was talking about earlier. So there's the top, there's the bumpy part. But yeah, and here's another one. I don't remember if I actually traced this one, but I know that I took a picture of me doing that with my own hand. And then I drew it. Like, please use references, and the best way to find hand references is just to take a picture of yourself. That's why I drew this here. Like, that is just the best way to do it. If you guys have questions on how to draw hands in other poses and all sorts of different things, because this is really basic and I could go into depth. There are so many things that hands can do. They're so complicated. But if you want any of that, just let me know. And yeah, practice, 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 study references, study your own hand, use your own hand, practice some more. And just remember that these things are so hard, and it is okay to not be great at them. It takes forever to get good at hands. But I do hope this helped, and yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know. Yeah, have a nice day.